Welcome to Behaving Forward with Dr. M. As promised, I thought I would share with you my top 3 cognitive distortions that folks sit in that chair over there and rumble with on almost a daily basis. So they are movie making, Teflon versus sticky brain, and fairness justice complex. Now, if you are familiar with cognitive behavioral therapy, some of these terms are going to be familiar. Let's talk movie making, okay? Now, my question for you is this. Have you ever been waiting for somebody? Maybe it's a kid, maybe it's a spouse, and they're late. Maybe 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late, not answering your calls. Within that 20 minutes, do you get making movies about what's going on for them, where they might be, what might be happening? Okay. So you've got them in a ditch on the side of 71 South, or you have some other apocalyptic, catastrophic narrative playing in your head. So by the time they walk in the door, your blood pressure's up, you're escalated, and your body is rebelling on you, and you're yelling at them, "Where have you been?" And they are in shock. They're like, "Oh, my phone died, and I remembered we needed another gallon of milk." Okay, have you ever had that experience? So what you did was make a movie, right? You made a movie in your head based on fiction and then had a real physical experience. Now, the traditional cognitive behavioral therapy terms might be catastrophizing, control fallacies, and emotional reasoning. Okay, those are the 3 kind of terms that might be familiar to you. So, my first challenge to you is to track your movie making. How often are you sitting somewhere in the moment and you've got some sort of thing going on in your head that is fantastical and maybe even clever, but completely based on fiction? Emotional reasoning, like maybe you feel a thing, and so you're kind of reverse engineering a future story to justify the feeling. This fallacy of control, this control fallacy that, well, if I worry about it enough, then the bad thing won't happen. That can be a piece of this cocktail. And then also there's just the catastrophic thinking, worst case scenarioing it. Okay, so movie making. So the first thing you can do is track how often you're making movies. Okay, the second cognitive distortion that comes up a lot in my office is Teflon brain versus sticky brain. Okay, and so the traditional cognitive behavioral therapy strategies or things that you've heard of before would be mental filtering, personalizing, discounting the positive. Now, a lot of folks develop this as a protective mechanism. They've been through some stuff, and so they are going to index on when the bad stuff happens, and they sort of let the good stuff go, right? Teflon brain for the good, sticky brain for the bad. Now, there is a thing, sub-bullet point here, that I call DST, disproportionate shit theory, okay? DST. Some people live with a DST, with a disproportionate amount of shit. I don't know why. I don't know the formula. Sometimes there are chapters or seasons in our life where there's a disproportionate amount, DST. So if you're in that first category where you've been through some stuff, it's kind of hard to rewire this, and it takes practice. And this video isn't about the strategies to get there, but I want you to be paying attention to, am I Teflon braining the good stuff? And am I sticky braining the bad stuff? Is it possible that we could be intentional about trying to reverse that? Because it is possible, okay? All right, the third cognitive distortion that is on my top 3 list would be fairness justice warriors. Okay, these are also people that have been through some stuff. And maybe in their childhood they didn't have power, so by God, in their adult life, they are going to fight. Okay, so this could be the result of attachment to the past, heaven's reward, and this comparison thing of, well, these if-then statements. So my fairness justice warriors, whenever they notice something isn't fair, they really latch in. Now, this can be about an email policy or a return to work policy at work. This could be about something happening in their personal lives, and they do not know how to let it go. Any mild infraction, they have no capacity to differentiate. Anything that isn't fair becomes something to fight over. And if you do that, you are always in drama.
One of my favorite quotes is fire without focus is just smoke.
So we can get kind of caught up in this justice thing, fairness justice thing, and we got a lot of drama, but we don't have a lot of strategy or action, and that can happen like at a macro level culturally, and it can also happen in our day-to-day life. So track your movie making. How often do you have yourself living in a box underneath a bridge based on like a snarky email from a boss? Okay, be honest with yourself. How often do you do that? Teflon brain versus sticky brain. Are you really letting the good stuff stick, or are you moving past that too quickly? And fairness, justice warrioring. Are you showing up with your red cape and the S on your chest to fight all the things when maybe there's a different way to still contribute meaningfully without emotionally bankrupting yourself? Question that's worthy of asking. So, thank you very much for paying attention, and I will see you soon.